We're nearly there. We've reached the point where we can now set our objectives and therefore define the action plan. Note that we're setting the objectives quite late in the planning process. And we're doing this because now we can be confident that the objectives we set are grounded in a comprehensive business and opportunity assessment. And therefore, we can be confident that they can be achieved. And this is in some contrast to the approach used by, well, quite a few companies, I'm afraid, in which someone who's obviously not very close to the key account really just sets arbitrary blanket growth objectives for key accounts and then expects the account managers to go out and achieve these before, well, any proper analysis has taken place. It's as though these companies don't really trust their key account managers to derive the real growth opportunities. But here's the interesting thing. In our experience, there's generally far more growth identified and planned when the key account manager takes full responsibility and works properly through the process. And as I say, what's more important is that we can be confident about the growth opportunities now because they're grounded in reality. So now the next stage in the process is for you to select from the list of growth opportunities those relatively few opportunities which you're going to develop. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to develop all of the identified opportunities. You just don't have the time or the resources, and some of them will just be too difficult or maybe just not worth the amount of extra effort you're going to have to expend. But because you've estimated the value and the cost of these identified opportunities, you'll be able to estimate the growth potential as a percentage of the total existing business. So now you can state with some confidence that you'll be able to grow the business with the selected account by 1, 5, 10%, whatever you think is realistic. So this is the point in the process where you define your objectives, normally for the next 12 months. A word on setting objectives. There are many different mnemonics used by different companies to help you set objectives. So you may be familiar with SMART or SMAC or so on. None of them are necessarily better than another, and to keep things simple, I normally recommend that when you come to set the objectives, just remember two things. Ensure that they're specific. In other words, it has to be clear to anyone what you plan to achieve. And secondly, that they're measurable, using two measures, a quantity measure, volume, revenue, share, so on, and a time measure. In other words, what by when. So, for example, launch a product, present an idea, develop the relationship. They're not objectives because they're not specific and they're not measured. But on the other hand, launch product X in Q2 to achieve $5 million of sales in the first 3 months. That's an objective. We know what, how much, and by when. Thank you.